Hey everybody, welcome back to SoCal Sports Report. I'm Ailis, Garcia, Bobby DeMuro. We worked our way down from LA to sunny SoCal, Orange County, Fullerton, and we are a couple steps away from Angel Stadium, actually.
That's true. Applicable to our first topic, we are very close to Angel Stadium.
Yes, we could walk there.
Really?
Well, it'd be a long walk. It'd be like a hike.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, we're pretty close. I could see it in the distance, actually, if we looked over.
Oh, no kidding. All right, well, there we go.
Yeah, so first topic, that's why I mentioned it. The Dodgers. I have Sportsnet LA because I have Time Warner. A lot of people in Southern California do not have Time Warner, do not have Sportsnet LA. You don't even have a TV.
Yeah, I don't have a TV. That's true. Thanks for broadcasting that.
Yeah. So, because you watch everything online.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, you can do that nowadays.
There's nothing wrong with not having a TV. I mean, I don't even watch TV.
Hey, MLB TV.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, right now, a lot of people, maybe yourself, cannot watch the Dodgers play, which is really sad and upsetting because they spent all this money to create this network for everybody, for Dodger fans to watch. And also, they're really hot this year. So, you want to be able to watch the Dodgers. Dodgers have a huge fan base, and they can't get the games. So, my question is, and it's a question that people have been talking about, do the Dodgers now lose fans to the Angels because Angels games are the only games that are on right now in Southern California for baseball?
No, not at all.
I agree with you.
Not at all. Let me say this. As a baseball fan, as a big baseball fan, and I am neither a Dodgers nor an Angels fan, but as a big baseball fan, if I had TV and I didn't have Sportsnet, I would switch and watch all the Angels games because I want to watch baseball.
Yeah, if you're just, kicking back and you're like, I just want to watch a baseball game.
Exactly.
The only thing that's on are the Angels.
And you'd watch all those games. Now, if I were a Dodgers fan who was doing that just to watch Angels for baseball, would I become an Angels fan? No.
Not exactly. What fan of a major team is just going to all of a sudden, oh, I can't watch my team's game, so I'm going to become a bandwagon fan for another team?
Well, and especially this team, because you and I have dealt with so many Dodgers fans, covering them, talking about them, doing all this stuff the past few months. They are fanatical, and I mean that as a compliment in a good way. Dodgers fans are very loyal. They're not just going to say, oh, hey, I'll be an Angels fan now. So that's not going to happen. Now, the Angels should be looking at ways to maybe get more fans out of the deal.
Do you think they can benefit from it? How would you, as the Angels organization, try to capitalize on the Dodgers not having a network that fans can watch? From
a TV rights perspective, I don't know, because the TV rights are just drawn out in contracts.
Yeah, years before.
Exactly, and it's a long-term TV thing anyways, and the Angels have their channel, and the Dodgers have their channel, and it is what it is. And I guess you can make the experience at the ballpark better, but
exactly, which the Dodgers would make better.
With the Dodgers,
that would be in the interest of the Dodgers to say, hey, I know you can't get Sportsnet LA, so come to the game.
Which would be interesting if the Dodgers made cheaper tickets or whatever it was business-wise, and I don't know that they would ever do that.
Yeah, or they already have enough people going to the games now, so why would you lower your prices?
Even if they need to do that. But I don't know if the Angels can do anything, and I don't know if the Angels want to do anything. Listen, if you get a chance, if you're a Dodgers fan or not, if you've never been to Angel Stadium like I hadn't until a couple weeks ago, go to an Angels game. It's fun.
So nice.
Parking's really easy.
Orange County.
Oh, God. Parking's really easy, which is actually a huge benefit.
Really easy.
But, I mean, the stadium's cool. The team is good enough. They're not going to be great, but they've got good players. You want to see Pujols?
I love the rock formation in the background.
Yeah, it's an interesting stadium.
Nice stadium.
It's a good place to watch a baseball game because it's clean and it's simple. A lot of much more modern stadiums have like little intricacies and stupid little things and kind of gimmicks. Angel Stadium is pretty much just, here's baseball, go watch it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and a nice venue and a nice setting. And you're in Orange County, so it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, go down to a game. Don't wear your Dodger stuff maybe. But if you are a Dodgers fan, I don't think anybody transfers over and becomes an Angels fan.
I mean, if you did, let us know.
Yeah, actually, if there is somebody who did that, let us know. But I have a feeling a lot of Dodgers fans are just watching the games because you want to watch baseball.
But, I mean, if you can't watch it, what do you do?
No, the Angels games.
Yeah. If you like baseball. Yeah. Well, anyways, let's move on to our next topic. I want to get this right. I actually went to the Long Beach Grand Prix a couple weeks, 2 weeks ago, I think, 3 weeks ago. And for those of you that don't know, the Grand Prix is auto racing, especially, and it's for IndyCar. And this is my first auto racing experience because growing up in Southern California, you're just not a auto racing fan. I mean, unless you're within that niche and you kind of grew up in it, I don't think people here in Southern California are really into that. So I want to get this right. Chris Pook, who is the Long Beach Grand Prix promoter, estimated that it would cost $9.2 million to upgrade the circuit if Long Beach were to host the Formula One, because there's been talk about bringing Formula One to Southern California, specifically to Long Beach. So can racing become a major sport here in LA and Southern California? Because it is out in the Midwest, in other areas.
Yeah, I don't even know out in the Midwest or out south I would call it a major sport. About the only place that racing is a major sport is maybe around Indiana for IndyCar, where kind of Indianapolis 500 sits and that heart of that is, and maybe around Charlotte, North Carolina with NASCAR. But even then, the Carolina Panthers still dominate in Charlotte.
True, but NASCAR, I believe it is the sport with the most advertising dollars.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Out of all major, like you're talking baseball, football,
yeah, well,
basketball.
When you put stickers on the cars, I mean, of course, like I get it. But I just don't know that outside of a few very, very regional specific strongholds that it'll ever become the sport anywhere, or it'll ever overtake the top 3 NBA,
I don't think
NFL,
it'll, yeah.
MLB.
But can it become popular here? There were a lot of people, I think they estimated 90,000, or not 90,000, I forget what they estimated. The total number of people that went out to Long Beach to go watch the Grand Prix. So I know people will go. I just don't know. Do people even know the difference between NASCAR, IndyCar, and Formula One?
Well, that's a good question.
Because I didn't. And I know sometimes, the only thing I know is the difference, you know, a standing start versus starting from your pit and going out because it's based on time and not actually who crosses the finish line first.
Yeah.
But I don't think most people
I don't think most people do know. IndyCar and F1, Formula One are both open wheel. IndyCar is less powerful. They're capped horsepowers. F1 has more horsepower. And Formula One, which is more of an international sport as opposed to IndyCar, which is American, Formula One has bigger budgets. So in IndyCar, you would have Newman Haas Racing, which is a racing team in IndyCar, race on about $25 million a year. Formula One, the McLaren Mercedes team, races on about $400 million a year.
Right, that's a pretty big difference.
Huge difference. What I would compare it to, maybe for soccer fans, is the MLS versus like UEFA and the European Champions League. And the MLS is good and professional and whatever and getting better, but like, you know, the English Premier League and those leagues are a cut above.
Right.
That's kind of IndyCar to Formula One. And then of course NASCAR's closed wheel, loops on a track, you know, a little bit different than that. I don't know if it'll ever become popular in America. I don't know if it'll ever get more of a market share than it has right now. Yeah, you can upgrade the track or upgrade the situation in Long Beach. You can upgrade it everywhere else. And yeah, maybe more people will come once, but I don't know if you convert them to being fans as opposed to just being spectators. And there's a difference.
And it's something else to do in here in LA, but I think LA is so big. I don't know if people would go, but there's other distractions and there's other things to do versus if you brought it to like a small town and then it all of a sudden became like the host city and everybody went to it. Kind of like small towns that, you know, the high school football game on Friday is the biggest deal. And
this is where NASCAR got popular on a totally different topic, but it's a similar thing.
Yeah, same thing.
NASCAR got popular in smaller towns with dirt tracks, with smaller drivers and smaller venues, and then you have followings for these drivers and they grow and grow and grow and go into the Nationwide Series, go into NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, and that's how you get fans like that. Now, I don't know if that same thing could happen in a Los Angeles or a Long Beach, or if you need to start in smaller towns where people actually know maybe what it's like to race cars because a lot more people have.
Well, maybe there are enough fans here in LA that would support it. So who knows? But I also have another question. Are race car drivers athletes?
Yes.
A lot of people would argue no.
100%.
I believe and I agree with you that they are. I met a few of them and they are in top shape.
You have to be. You don't understand how much, first off, how much these guys sweat and how much weight they lose
it is hot in
a car. And people are saying, well, you're sitting down, you can sweat, whatever. Yeah, try sitting in that car for 2.5 hours, driving a couple 100 miles an hour and sweating. You've got to be a real athlete to overcome that and not faint, let alone do everything that you're supposed to be doing. Let me put it this way about athletes, and maybe this is more for NASCAR than IndyCar, but NASCAR is about 50 drivers going in circles in a track. If you don't know NASCAR, you'd say, well, you know, whoever wins, wins. It doesn't matter. How come the same guy wins every time? How come Jimmy Johnson's so good? There's strategy, there's focus and concentration, there's talent.
Your physical state is a major component. You can't be out of shape.
I mean, are golfers athletes?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a technical skill. And they may not have the biggest muscles and they may not be able to run and, you know, nobody's going to race John Daly in a foot race. The guy can't run anywhere. But he has a technical skill of being a golfer that has taken years and years to practice. It's the same thing with race car drivers. Definitely athletes.
All right. Well, definitely. Yeah, you guys let us know, too, because I feel like everybody will agree with us. But, you know, there's always people that don't.
I don't know. Tell us. Seriously, get on Twitter and tell us. Are race car drivers athletes? And maybe more broadly to your first point, can Formula One or IndyCar or NASCAR or all the above work in Southern California, because they've tried races in NASCAR in Southern California, results have been so-so.
Right.
Now they're trying IndyCar and maybe Formula One.
Now, speaking of LA hosting sports, LA is bidding to be the host city for the 2024 Olympics. I know you're not a fan.
No.
Why not?
LA doesn't need them. Look, we were talking off camera, you mentioned the point that, oh, nobody knew Sochi.
Nobody knew Sochi before the Winter Olympics a couple months ago.
Everybody knows
LA. And now everybody knows of Sochi.
But everybody knows LA already.
True,
everybody
but
around the world knows LA.
more advertising for the city.
Yeah, I mean, great, but what does that really get us if we're talking advertising?
But you're bringing people, anytime you bring people into a city, you're going to be making money and revenue. And we all know that LA needs more money in it.
Okay, all right, tax revenue, Orange County joke, I gotcha.
Funny.
But look, LA doesn't need this. They're going to have to create new stadiums, renovate the stadiums they have, create sports-specific stadiums based on the Olympics.
Which will pay off with all the people coming in, all the money going through. It really generates money for a city.
But then what do you do with these new sports-specific stadiums that you can't use?
I think you would still use the Rose Bowl, you would use the Coliseum. You use things around the city. Yeah, you have to build things, but you still use what's there and revamp it.
All right, what about the traffic, the pollution, the people, the annoyance?
I do not agree with. I mean, you would never, in LA, the president comes and you can't get anywhere.
Exactly.
It would be really tough to get places, especially like, Hollywood premieres, they close off streets. It would be, there's already enough traffic in LA. It takes you like an hour to come down to Orange County. It's taken me up to 3 hours to get up to the valley sometimes. There's a lot of traffic in LA, and I understand that it would create more congestion, but I think in the end, it would be something that people get excited about, that would bring people to LA, and it would be great.
I can't get excited about it. Look, the IOC is corrupt as hell, okay? So who knows what's going to go on in this decision making. When you talk about building and renovating stadiums, where's the money come from? Tax dollars? So do you add extra taxes? Are people really going to go for that in LA?
Add extra tax.
You'd have to. Where do you get the money from otherwise?
I don't know.
You'd have to add extra taxes, and I'm not a huge, I don't care, but it does matter if people are paying extra taxes for this stuff that Olympians are going to use for a month and then it's over.
I think as someone though living here in Southern California, I would go to an event.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
You're not an Olympic fan.
I'm not. No.
I like, Summer Olympics. I think that would be really fun. You'd be able to go actually see these. It's one thing to see Olympians compete on TV, but it's another thing to see them live, just like any sport. I think it would be great.
I agree with that. Look at the city of Denver, Colorado. 1976 had the Olympic bid, ended up voting to reject it, and it was taken from them. And then in 2002, they came to Denver and said, do you want this Olympic bid? People said no. And it went, of course, to Salt Lake City. Cities have rejected this before. LA has already had the Olympics multiple times, including 84.
Right, 84. They had it at USC for the...
Look, it's been 40 years. That's not long enough. You've only had, 10 Summer Olympics in that time? Let it go somewhere else. Give it to another city. I don't want to see the Olympics in LA. I just don't.
Michael Phelps isn't going to be too happy with you.
Listen, he's old anyway. He wouldn't compete in 2020. But not in 2024.
Maybe not in 2024, yeah. He's coming back, though. You just announced that. But let us know, obviously, if you're in SoCal and you're watching SoCal Sports Report, you're somewhere around here.
Yeah. You
would definitely have an opinion on this. So we want to know. Tweet us at
SoCal Sports TV
or Bobby DeMuro, Ailis Garcia. And let us know your thoughts. And if you have any topics that you want us to discuss too, we're more than happy to discuss them. And I know we have some fans now that want to actually be guests on your show.
I know. Maybe we should let them. You guys could debate Ailis, because you'd rather debate her than me, trust me.
I don't know about that.
You'll beat her. You won't beat me.
Hey, you're supposed to be on my team.
I'm sorry. You won't beat Ailis. She's perfect in every way.
No, that's not true. All right, guys. We'll see you next week with another episode of SoCal Sports Report.